Hi, my name is Jevin Vine.
And I'm Mike Wilson. We're with the Thompsons agronomy team, and today we're here to talk to you about aerial imagery and the solutions it can provide for your farm. Every field has variability, and we ask you if you're managing yours. We'd like to show you today how imagery can help you create solutions for your farm and help manage that in-field variability to increase your profitability per acre. NDVI stands for a Normalized Difference Vegetative Index. This image allows us to measure the vegetative state of the crop and how it's performing in season.
That's right, Mike. There's three different ways that we collect NDVI imagery at Thompsons. One of the ways we use is fixed aircraft. A second way will be through using a source such as Green Seeker. And the third way that we use and are very happy with is using the EB drone that we just recently purchased this year. And with this drone and with the Green Seeker and with fixed wing aircraft, that's what allows you to take the image from the sky and then be able to process the data and take that to the field. So
that's right, Jevin. We really like the drone for its accuracy and its attention to detail. This works very good at close proximity to give us really tight resolution of the images we want. It doesn't allow us to capture a lot of acres in a day, which is why we also have the fixed wing aircraft. It has two cameras mounted on it, which allows us to capture a lot of imagery very quickly and allows us to keep up to the demand of the peak imagery season. The third option we have is with the Green Seeker on our sprayers. The Green Seeker is mounted on the boom and actually calculates an NDVI value and gives us a map each and every time we spray a field with the sprayers that it's equipped on.
that's right, Mike. What imagery allows us to do is to make better management decisions in season. So when we get that image back, we can throw it on our iPad and we can go into the field, walk it with the grower and start identifying the issues that we're seeing. So when we go to the certain spots that are with a lower NDVI reading, we can take a nitrate test there. We could take a soil solutions test there. We could do some tissue testing. We could do damage assessment. Maybe it's something from hail. Maybe it's something from flooded conditions. Maybe it's something from drought. Maybe it's insects. Maybe it's another type of disease. So all those different ways we can start to figure out what's going on and try to make a better management in season to correct it.
So the second thing we use imagery for is for creating management zones in the field. This is more of a post-season application to the images that we collect during the crop. So when we determine the in-field zones based on productivity and what we're finding, and we've tried to correct the problem in season with a directed spray or some type of management solution to fix it, there's areas in the field that we can't correct always in season. There's a bigger underlying problem. It could be a major nutrient deficiency, could be tiling, could be a management practice on the farm that needs to be changed. No matter what it is, imagery allows us to create those zones to fix the problem. So once the zones are identified, we can then go back and soil sample the zones and begin to manage them differently. We can look for underlying factors that are causing the poor yield or the good yield, and we can begin to tweak the fertility program on a farm to begin maximizing profits and get the benefit we need from the fertilizer that we're applying. Once we understand the nutrient values that we're looking for, we can then create custom application recommendations to apply fertilizer variable rate to fix the problems and really begin to tweak and work out the best possible solution for the farm. So Jevin, imagery has a lot of different possible solutions and a lot of different ways we can use it. What potential grower would benefit most from this type of service?
Yeah, really any grower can utilize Thompsons imagery services. Often with growers who don't have yield data, this might be a really good replacement because it often correlates with yield data itself. Growers, who have yield data, growers who are looking to better refine zones, to kind of go a little deeper into understanding the history on their farm and exactly what's going on, they would be a good fit for it as well. So, and I think, driving around this year too, you can notice a lot, every field has variability in it, and you can really start to see it. And really, any field where you're starting to see unevenness, things like that, that's where imagery would fit.
What are some other problems that we can measure with an image that can benefit the farmer?
Yeah, we can measure things such as frost. We've done a lot of work on growers' fields with that. Flood damage, could be pesticide drift from your neighbor coming in on your farm, and you want to measure how much, how much damage is there. Could be things such as hail, such as wind. I mean, there's all kinds of different environmental impacts as well. So Mike, just maybe tell everyone quickly, what would be the top 5 reasons why a grower would use imagery?
Directed field scouting allows us to really hone in on those areas that we want to focus on a farm. identify the problem, create a solution, and fix it, creating a positive result for the customer. The second area we can use the imagery for is creating a crop potential map. And like we said, the image gives us a snapshot in time of the crop, giving us the crop potential today for the crop, providing nothing else happens in season. The third thing we can use imagery for is zone creation. And this is probably the biggest area in which we're getting uptake in today. For customers that do not have a yield monitor and know they have in-field variability, aerial imagery is a great way to show where that variability is and allows us to measure the size of those zones and create a solution to begin correcting the issues causing those zones. The fourth area we can use imagery for is new and emerging, and we call it more of the proactive spraying approach. Imagery allows us to identify areas that can benefit from a spray application, be it fungicide, insecticide, or even herbicide. We can target those areas and cost effectively apply a product to solve the problem that's being seen in the field. And Jevin, the last and fifth thing we use imagery for is elevation mapping. We use that more ahead of and behind the crop when there isn't a lot of vegetation in the field. This allows our growers to take a third layer of information when they're building their zones. So they can use their yield data, they can use an elevation map, and they can begin to use the images that we collect to really fine-tune those zones. And we can see if the production problem or zone that we've identified in the field is due to elevation or a fertility issue or whatever the underlying feature is. And all these different layers allow us to really create the zones and the benefits we're looking for. So basically anything that's affecting the vegetative state of the crop can be measured, and therefore we can show the customer and create a solution for it.
Yeah, exactly. We could show the customer how much of the area that's been affected, and we could start to make better management decisions on how we're going to correct that issue.
So besides the main crops like field corn, soybeans, and wheat, imagery also has a very good fit for the crops that we cannot measure with a yield monitor. Things like edible beans, tomatoes, cucumbers, peas, tobacco. Those higher value crops where we know we have that in-field variability and we want to do something and correct the issues, imagery is a great fit to allow us to measure that, scout the field, and create a solution for the customer.
All right, so I'm just going to quickly wrap things up here, Mike. We know that every farm has variability, and the question is the grower managing his or her farm the way that they should? And Thompsons, I think, really has some great services to be able to help the customer manage variability. So contact your local Thompsons today, and we'd be more than happy to be able to help you manage that variability in your field.